Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Phil Carew Show 2.0. Once again, I have a very special guest who's back on the Phil Carew Show, Silvio Simac. How are you?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you. Yourself? It's been quite a busy period since we spoke last, since the interview, but nevertheless, I love it. I'm doing what I love doing.
Oh, wow. No, it's been a real honor to have you back, Silvio. And as we were saying off behind the camera, and it has been very, very busy. And, we've also noticed that over time, you've had some projects sort of you're getting involved in, and you've got some up and coming events. What have you got in terms of like projects and even things like, for example, a show? Is there like any other shows or events that you're involved in now this year?
There is a film being released in the coming months, Warriors of Peace, which I'm sure you've seen the trailer for it. This was shot in Georgia last year. Then I've got further 4 film productions coming up between now and September. So I presume it's going to be very, very intense because we haven't really got that much months between now and September. 3 I've signed contracts for, so I can speak about 3 of them. The 4th one, I haven't signed anything yet, so but it should be happening. One of them, namely, is Warrior Island, which is obviously a martial arts-based film. It's directed by Sheldon Lettich, who was director of Rambo 3, Bloodsport, quite a legend. So this is something which has been in the pipeline for 10 years. So it really goes to show, don't give up on your dreams, because it may not happen in a year or 2 years or 5 years or 7 years, but eventually it's going to happen. And I've been with this production company for the last 10 years when they started with the concept of Warrior Island. And I thought to myself, back of my head, are they going to give up? Will they give up? Will they not give up? Finally, it's happened. I was in New York in January this year. We had a meeting, and it's finally going ahead in August this year in New Jersey.
Wow. I'm lost for words. These things, sometimes there comes to be a time of in a position where, when sometimes actors, actresses, anyone in the sort of film industry find time to have time out. But then I suppose, like most people, when they're in a position where they've got a project, brought to them, no matter how big or small, because you like to keep busy. You're the kind of actor or person, where you don't want to just have breaks in between. You want to have something where there's some level of consistency throughout the year.
Absolutely. And I think as much as you can relate to it, once you have a family, you will become very good at time management, because your time becomes very, very precious. And when you do get jobs, it can get very, very intense. So once again, you have to manage your time very efficiently. When you're not busy, then you have lots of catching up to do. Maybe writing books, as I'm writing a book, writing a script, or organizing a tournament. I've got martial arts academy that I'm running. I just could not imagine not being busy, because if I wasn't, I'd be pulling my hairs out, as I have been, I think, when the lockdown, because it was a very difficult time. I did not feel very productive. So, but I engaged in other things. I was writing a book, so it was a bit different.
Oh, wow. You're still in the middle of the process of that. Is it early stages, or are you not far off from actually sort of launching that now?
I'm actually on my way writing the second one. They'll be launched at the same time, simultaneously.
Wow.
Lots of tweaks and second, third, fourth versions. Just like when you write a script, you may get up to 12 to 15 different versions of the script.
Oh, we have Mr. Wayne Hunt on.
Yes, I can see him popped up on the screen. Hello, Wayne.
Hello, Wayne. How you doing? Oh, wow. No, it's one of those things, Silvio. What would you say? Because in terms of not just balance, but your self-care, because there are a lot of times where there must be, it's not the case of doing too much, but being able to make sure that you look after yourself behind closed doors. Because this is a topic now. It's become sort of a position of where we do so much for other people, but what about yourself? Because obviously you're no good to anyone if you're just going to be completely burnt out, and you think, well, I need to be here not just for my family, but if I need to be fresh, sharp and ready, because the last thing you want to do is feel like you're completely haggard, you've got you've got no energy, no rest, people look at you and think, oh my goodness, where's he been? Has he been on a night out and slept in the bush for half the night?
Of course. And I go through times. I get completely worn out. But as a martial artist, I've said to you previously, I always strive for the balance, the ultimate balance. And sometimes it's very, very difficult to get this balance because life throws us off with unexpected turns and obstacles and challenges that come our way. But ultimately, health has always been my priority. Health and fitness has always been my priority. So I always prioritize. I do my workouts 5 days a week. I'm in the gym every single day. When I'm on traveling, I make sure I work out. And my diet is very, very, very spot on. I don't consume toxins. I don't smoke. I don't have alcohol. I look after myself because I want to increase the longevity of how long I'm going to be doing this. I don't want to be collapsing in a few years' time because I'm getting too old or this or that. No, I want to extend my shelf life by choosing a healthy lifestyle. So I can't neglect that. I cannot neglect my health because not just for my occupation, but also for my family. I've got to make sure I'm productive and I'm feeling full of energy and zest to chase my dreams, because your health, your physical health also affects your mental health. And if you're full of energy, full of drive, full of zest, then yeah, you're going to be full of energy to go and chase your dreams. On the other hand, then foods you consume can make a huge difference in how you feel mentally and as well as physically. But to be inspired and motivated all year round is very, very difficult. So you always have to search for new goals, new inspiration, something new to motivate you.
You know, that's understandable. What would you say, just more of a message to the sort of current generation and even the younger sort of generation that are getting involved in physical activity, or like you mentioned off the screen, like my son was so excited. See, he couldn't believe, he thought, you know, oh my goodness, is that really Silvio? Then he realized that, you know, it's important to do something. You did mention that even not just for my son, but other people out there, it's important to do something, you know, and that keeps your mind sharp.
I think I've come to realize and learn some of these things a bit later in my life. Some people have grasped it much, much earlier than I have. And I always say to people, the sooner you get it, just get into it. Because when you're young, you're full of energy, you're full of zest to go and chase your dreams, to work 18 hours a day. So identify what your goals are. Identify and make them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. These are smart goals. So they have to be very specific and certain what you want in life. Measurable goals, so you can gauge your progress. Realistic, so set your goals which are quite realistic. Achievable and timely. Set yourself a time. I want to achieve X, Y, and Z by so and so month or so and so year, and then find a purpose. I think why sometimes we fail along the journey is we don't find the purpose of our journey, and that's like getting in your car not knowing where you're driving to. You're just going to be driving around pointlessly with no purpose. So find the reason why you're doing it, because the bigger your why, the easier will be your how. Your journey is going to be so much easier. And that's why when people say, isn't it hard? I don't find it hard at all, because I've got valuable purpose behind it. If I had no purpose behind it, of course I would find hard. I would find hard following a very, very disciplined diet, as well as lots of other things. But because I have a strong purpose behind it, that's why I don't find it hard. And this is probably the biggest advice I would tell people, is find a purpose or the reason why you're doing it. And you'll get there easily. You'll find it no problem.
No, thank you for that, Silvio. Other things as well to put in mind on regards to sort of health and your fitness. How did you find earlier on, you know, in terms of rather than just people thinking that, you know, you're having the physique to look the part, but it's also an advantage because it's what you love doing, you know, make sure that you're staying fit and healthy. You know, what got you involved in maintaining that, you know, other than just, you know, on a magazine, because you did something before as a promo, you know, for Maxi, you know, for that, but for yourself, you know, for yourself, how did that, from a transformation from being an experienced martial artist and then going into something like that, you know, into sort of health and fitness?
Well, the thing is, they go hand in hand, undoubtedly, with health and fitness, with martial arts, with weight training, any sport. The healthier you are, the easier your body will adapt to the stimulus that you place upon it. So if I want to become stronger or faster, the healthier state my body's in, the easier my body will adapt. So it's a bit like a fertile soil you can grow anything on it. But if the soil is not fertile, it's full of toxins, then your body will not adapt. So if you're consuming toxins, your alcohol, if you smoke, if you do drugs, all of these things will prevent you from your body adapting. So if you stay in a healthy state, your body will adapt. But not only that, because of my healthy lifestyle, I feel like I've got superhuman powers. And I'm not even joking. Physically as well as mentally, I feel full of energy, full of zest, full of zest to chase my dreams. But I notice on the contrast side of it, when I go through maybe times of around Christmas time when I'm not so healthy, when I'm consuming toxins, my drive, my everything goes downhill big time. My motivation, my enthusiasm, everything. So I say, okay, time to go back to my healthy ways. So I can gauge the difference between healthy me and unhealthy. I'm far more productive, far more driven, far more motivated. Of course, I get up much earlier in the morning and I strive to chase my dreams. So definitely I can gauge the difference when I'm being healthy and unhealthy. I'm a completely different person.
Wow. You know, in that as well, in that sort of aspect, what are your future plans? You know, would you get yourself involved in the filming side, you know, like being a director, directing and maybe producing something, as well as, you know, doing your writing, what you're doing at the moment, as well as a writer? So what's your insight and take on that?
I started doing some producing, as I'm sure I've mentioned the last time we spoke. I'm doing mainly acting now, and there are so many things I'd love to do. It's just the time is not permitting me to do it right now. I'm on the way of writing the second book. My martial arts academy has grown. Luckily, I've got the staff members and support behind to run the school, even if I'm not there. So all in its right time. I just don't think it's the right time for it just yet. Just no time for it. And I don't want to drive myself crazy or kill myself in the process. But exactly. There will come a time where I can no longer do certain things. So I need to, in the same way, like Bruce Lee was saying, be like water, my friends. You know, you need to change as the environment changes. When you get to a point where you can no longer perform the movements that you could, I will have to adapt, and I will not always be in the same physical condition or shape that I'm now. And I'm getting ready for it, so I will be able to adapt. My kicks will no longer be as flexible. I will not be able to kick as flowingly or flashy. So I will be adapting. I'm adapting now. We all have to adapt, I guess. We all saw adaptation during the COVID, during the lockdowns.
Yes.
We all had to adapt the way we work, the way we socialize, the way we do everything. And the world we emerge back in is a different world than before that.
And one other thing as well, I haven't asked you yet. Do you actually play any instruments at all?
Oh, no. You know what? I had a dream, and I hate saying I had a dream, but I've never done it because I like to get my whole bucket list done before. I wish I could play a guitar. I don't play any instruments. So I wish I could play a guitar. It's just one of those things that I never picked up. But I'm sure that's going to be on a to-do list as well.
Yeah, no, you know what? That's actually one of mine. I had a collection of guitars over time, but I've been meaning to play a little bit. I did dabble in playing. What is it? The White Stripe song. Ding,
Right.
ding, ding,
Right.
ding, 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 just as a basic to start off with. And I thought, oh my goodness, just to keep myself motivated with that. And I dabbled a little bit with the drums because I stopped a little bit because obviously with the children. And
oh yeah, lots of noise.
Yeah, the noise, exactly. Riley, oh my goodness, he's got a little drum set at the back here that he's playing. He's getting back into it again. It's just we're sort of trying to get everything sorted out, like yourself. You know, it's all about the balance, Silvio. In regards to being known as an international Hall of Famer martial artist as well, what was it like in terms of like not just being a martial artist internationally, you know, having these awards for being recognized for your contribution, but what was it like when you actually first started in the films? Because I know you started off being recognized. I did sort of make yourself aware of this as well, obviously off the camera and off the show, that I've been a big fan of yours. Even the moment I noticed there was a magazine that was opening, a martial arts magazine, I thought, "Whoa, who's this? Oh, Silvio Simac, champion Taekwondo champion. I thought, oh my goodness. And the moment I saw that, I thought I got hooked. And then it went from there. Oh, hello. You got another fan. Karen Campbell.
Hello, Karen.
Look forward to seeing you, meeting you at some point. Yep. Oh. And
hello, Daz. How are you?
Oh my goodness!
Sorry, your question was, I think I've missed your question.
The question was in terms of what was it like to actually first time go onto film, that transition, part of the first transition from doing your martial arts, being known as a Taekwondo champion, and then moving on to film and the fight scenes, your first sort of fight scene that you had to do. Can you remember that, or was that kind of something that you thought?
I think it was both. It was both scary and exciting at the same time. Yeah. My first big feature was shot in Bangkok. I was in Thailand for 3 months, Bangkok and Chiang Mai, and I played the right hand man of Scott Adkins, who played Dr. Lang in Black Mask 2. Yes. Jet Li was in the first one. Second one was played by Andy On. He plays the lead. Scott Adkins plays the lead villain, and I play his sidekick. And initially, I went to Thailand as a stuntman. And first 2 weeks, my time was not being utilized at all. I spent 2 weeks in the trailer doing absolutely nothing. So I was getting a little bit frustrated. And I pulled that to the side, as well as the choreographer, Yun Wu Ping. And I said, guys, there's not enough action in this film. Why didn't you put me in the film? So I said, okay, show us what you can do. So they pulled me to the side. I did some movements. I did some kicks. And they thought, okay. So they wrote my character in the script there and then.
Wow.
Yeah, they wrote my character in the scripts. So I played Dr. Lang, who's played by Scott Adkins, his right-hand man. And it was scary and exciting at the same time. But martial arts fighting is very different on screen to what you see in the tournaments. Very different. Normally in tournaments, you want to hide your kick. You don't want to telegraph what you're going to do to your opponent. And I remember one of the scenes, I was doing kicks, and Yun Wu Ping came up to me and said, "You kick too fast. Can you slow down?" My first film was shot on film, 35mm film. And when they shoot action, they shoot 24 frames a second. When they shoot dialogue, they shoot 24 frames a second. When they shoot action, they're shooting 18 frames a second. That's why it seems a little bit speeded up. So he said, "You're too fast. Can you slow it down so we can capture it on the film?" But that's honest story. This was Bangkok, 2001. And obviously there were lots of adaptations I had to make, from being a fighter, from hiding my kicks, faking my techniques, to exposing them and showing them off, exaggerating a little bit, making them bigger than life itself.
Yes. It must be really hard though sometimes, because like when I mentioned on one of my episodes as one of the movie directors and also a fellow martial artist, Mark Starts, when you actually do a maneuver or a particular movement, it's so quick. Just like in the Bruce Lee films, the same thing. He had to slow things down just to get people to process everything, because it's so hard in real time as well. As well as I do, when you do something and it's quick so the eye can see, people think, did he just do that? And you've just done 2 or 3 movements in one take, one go, but you have to do it in a different angle.
Obviously. Yeah. They need to mainly take the wide shot for anything that's too fast, so at least you can capture it. If it's too tight, it's much more difficult to capture or gather what's happening.
Goodness me. What's the most takes you've ever had to do for one particular scene? It must be quite hard, to maintain that level of energy to contain all of that, because you do one scene, don't you? And it must take quite a lot of time doing that.
Well, generally the first take is going to be the entire fight scene together on a wide shot, the first take. And then they're going to do lots of close-ups. So the close-ups are not too bad, because you're only doing maybe 4, 5, 6 different moves, and then you cut.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad if you have to do many takes. It's not as bad as people think. Some of the toughest ones, probably falling off a building. I mean, some of the scariest ones I did was falling off 11-story building. And I had to do that 3 times, because the 2 times I did it, I was very nervous, and naturally I was very stiff in midair. I wasn't swinging my arms as I was falling down.
Yes.
And I asked the production, can you lift me up first so I can get used to the height as opposed to me just falling down?
Wow.
So they put wires, and plus there was a big air bubble underneath to catch me in case the wire snaps. But I did 3 takes for it. I've got to say, I had the biggest buzz for about 2 days afterwards, as if I did a bungee jump. You know, when you do a bungee jump, you feel the buzz afterwards. I've conquered my fear. I faced up.
Wow! All on one take. Who needs a bungee jump when you can be a stunt guy and actor?
It was fun. You kind of feel you feel rewarded afterwards because you faced up to your fears. You faced up to your fears, and you've executed something which you never probably would have thought doing previously.
Oh my goodness! Oh, you got Karen Campbell. Was asking, when do you start filming Warrior Island again?
4th of August. I'm just getting my tickets purchased this week. I'm starting on 4th of August in New Jersey. I was looking at some video footage of studio they're building, and it looks absolutely wonderful. Looks amazing.
Oh my goodness! Oh, Dan Surratt asked Silvio, if you made a movie, what other actors, stars, action stars would you have in your movie?
I think Dwayne Johnson will be an interesting one to work with. Because he's got great character, charisma, and his sheer size and build. He'll be a very interesting person to work with. And I think because he comes across as very funny and genuinely nice guy, he's someone I'd probably like to work with.
Oh, Karen Campbell wants to be in it.
You should send your reel to the production team. The email and phone numbers are there. Send it through. Keep pushing through, and hopefully it's going to be a lucky day.
There you go, Karen. There you go. I'm out then, Daz. You're a funny man, Daz. You're very funny. Yeah. In regards to this, how long is this is going to be a series again? You know, in regards to the Warrior Island, or is it just like, was it the one-off to start off with? Was you aware that it might sort of expand into this again? You know, into something else? As
I've said previously, this has been in the pipeline for 10 years. But in the last 6 years, they launched their comic strip, Warrior Island, which is selling like crazy in US. Comic strip, Warrior Island, with all the characters in it, my characters in it as well. Now they've got a bit of money behind it. They're doing a film first and TV series. So they're looking to do the whole merchandising behind it.
Wow, I'm looking forward to that, Silvio. It sounds exciting.
And a TV series.
My goodness. Wow.
I think it would work really well as a reality TV show as opposed to film, where masters are training real, genuine MMA fighters to fight. We know how MMA is very popular and UFC is very popular. So I think as a reality TV show would work really well. But this is something they're also discussing with potential TV stations.
Oh my goodness! Wow, this exciting time, Silvio. You heard it here, everyone.
Yeah,
the Phil Carew Show 2.0 exclusive.
I'm not a competitor, but one of the trainers, and it is a dream come true to work with some of these directors and guys. The guy who shot Bloodsport is an absolute dream come true. So looking forward to the whole thing.
Oh, she's in touch with more. Look at that! How quick she's moved, Silvio. She don't waste time, does she?
You seem like a fast mover.
It's a very fast mover. Well, apparently she's known as the UK version of Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got close links with those guys. Don Dragon Wilson, Cynthia Rothrock.
I'm in my next film with Don Wilson. That's the Shepherd Code. The Shepherd Code is a French production. Some of it's being shot in LA, some of it in Belgium, and some of it in UK. So I start shooting this on 12th of June in Belgium first, and then UK, and then the final bit in LA. This with Don Wilson. Oh,
wow. That's brilliant.
I've known Don Wilson for so many years. We've been to so many seminars together, workshops, and Comic-Cons. Never shot a film together. So this is going to be a first time that we're working together. We had lots of opportunities before, never shot a film together. So this will be our first time together.
Oh my God, I'm excited, Silvio. And we've got Daz Surratt here asking serious questions, Silvio. Is it hard being away from long periods from your family?
It is hard. It is hard. It can be very hard, especially when it's for a prolonged period of time. But if you do 2 or 3 shoots in a row, then it becomes a little bit easier because it comes standard. If you spend more than 4 or 5 weeks at home, then you don't want to go again. But it is very hard. Yes, it is very hard. I've got an 8-year-old kid. I want to see him grow up, and I am seeing him grow up. So being away from any extended period of time it's not a nice feeling.
Oh wow. The actual thing is as well, is there any other funny moments you've had during filming, you know, where it recently, or even you know, you may even sort of potentially sort of come into where you think maybe I shouldn't do that movement, that might happen? Because I know there might be certain things where a costume might rip, or there might be a certain movement where, like, you know, like in the Jackie Chan films and the Jet Lis and all of that, you get like the bloopers. Have you ever had that where you've managed to keep something together, and even as yourself as a keepsake for a reel, where there might be a funny moment when you think, actually there's a lot of action, but have you considered doing some funny parts as well in the foreseeable future?
Funny parts, outtakes, or making a comedy style film,
or even comedy, and some comedy.
No, but when you mentioned some of the funny things, I'm not sure if it was funny or not, but when I did Transporter 3 with Jason Statham, I kicked him a little bit harder than I should have done, and he wasn't too pleased after kicking him accidentally. But then during the fight sequence, and we've been rehearsing for quite some time and shooting all day, it wasn't even a high kick. I tore my hamstring. I tore my hamstring quite severely, and this was only, I think, 2 days before the shoot was coming to an end. And they said to me, "Would you like us to get you a stunt double?" I said, no, I want to finish this off myself. And because I carried on with it, I made the injury a lot worse. But they gave me these painkillers which masked the pain completely. So I made the injury a lot worse. It took me about 1.5 years for my hamstring to heal back to what it was.
Ooh, my goodness. Would you consider having all the other sort of well-known martial artists? I know you get the Jackie Chans and the Jet Lis and the Scott Adkins that you've been with, but would you consider having other sort of up-and-coming martial artists, and even a mixture of the crossover of the sort of well-known and the up-and-coming ones, something similar to like the Expendables, you know, where you have a mixture of different martial artists, well, obviously like the Don the Dragon Wilson, maybe even Cynthia and yourself, and something like that, where it's unusual because you always see things like Sly Stallone and all the others and Chuck Norris in it. But if you had yourself, Scott, Matt Fedz, all of you guys in there, and some women chucked in, and you had your own group of something in the film where you have a mixture of crossover of different things.
Of course, if you get a nice synergy between people, it always works very nicely. But I think this next production, the Shepherd Code, I'm working with Alan Delaby, who's very, very talented as a director, as a martial artist, and as a performer. Alan Delaby was European nunchuck champion. He's very, very good, very talented, and I very much look forward to working with him. We did one film together before, about 3 years ago, just before COVID. So I look forward to working with him, as well as Don Wilson. But it's a thriller. It's not a martial arts film. It's a thriller. Really? There is a bit of fighting, but not so much the martial arts fighting. It's mainly like a brawl and lots of guns. So it's very nice. It's very nice and refreshing to be doing something quite different.
Well, no, it's good because it shows how versatile you've become, you know, in different ranges. Because, you know, does it feel like, because I've spoken to a few other sort of actors and actresses, that the last thing you want is, it's nice to have a position where you're involving what you're good at and other skills. But, you know, like you said, it's refreshing to do something different. But, you know, there are times when other people, where they've been in a position where have that redirection, you know, and being able to focus on something else rather than feeling like appearing, you know, the appearance of being typecasted. Because, you know, you can easily be typecasted in the media, but when it comes to actually yourself, you can turn down things and say, no, I want to try something else. And they'll go, actually, no, you're quite versatile. You fall into most different categories, really.
I also think it's about being challenged. When you take on roles which you've never done before, it's a bit of a challenge, and you will feel good about yourself, your accomplishment, because your performance was different. So it is more challenging. And I spoke to Scott Adkins yesterday, and something he's going to be very, very proud of his performance in John Wick 4, because it was completely different to anything he's done before. And it's always nice to do something which is very different or out of the ordinary what you're used to doing, because it challenges you as a performer, challenges you as an actor. So when you engage into these kind of roles, when you pull it off, it's very rewarding.
Yeah, no, that's true. Oh, Mr. James the Dragon Turner, looking forward to your up and coming projects, Mr. Simac. I think you meant with an S, but I think bless him. Let's see. Great interview, Phil. Best wishes, James the Dragon. Yeah, apparently I wasn't aware of this until we came onto the interview, and prior to that, as a pre-emptying, he did ask Don himself, Don the Dragon Wilson, if it was all right to take the Dragon title on, and he said, no, that's fine. You can be the UK version, and he can be the American.
Very Dragon. Good. Why not? Yeah. Why not?
Oh, and in terms of that, on books, what made you feel that you could move forward gradually from not just film, but writing? I think it's a quite good thing to actually get into, more writing as well. As well as being a writer, what kind of books do you read? What was the last book you read?
Oh God, it's all here on my Kindle. Wow. I've got over 5,000 books on it. I've got loads of books. It's all factual stuff which is going to help me make progress in some shape or form, either improving my memory or my diet, supplements, or acting, or anything about self-improvement. I've never been into novels, or it's all factual stuff which will help me along my paths.
Oh, hi, Neil Palmer.
Hello, Neil.
Oh, yeah. As well as having your own books, is there other parts where there must be other sort of martial artists and even other sort of areas of the sort of book world, where a lot of people, when they do a lot of reading, with it regardless of health, with martial arts or anything like that, or even acting, because as Neil, I thought I'd sort of give Neil Palmer a shout out there, because he's got the Warriors path, where he's got other martial artists in there. Now, I know you've done a lot of contribution as well with other people as well. Is there any sort of future things in terms of sort of projects, potentially even sort of contributing with your a little bit of your story and how you got into martial arts on a path of being, known as a warrior in the martial arts world?
You mean within the publications?
Yeah.
Well, I do that all the time. I write articles for Martial Arts Magazine in Australia. I write regular blogs online, as well as writing my book. But as we all know, we are a product of our experiences, and we all have different experiences, and therefore our perception of life and everything that we've achieved is going to be different. And we all like to tell stories to each other. We like to share our experiences. So naturally, this was my way of sharing my experiences with others. And I say at the beginning of the book, this is not everyone's truth. This is my truth. But everybody has to find their own path and their own truth. In very much the way Jeet Kune Do states that you've got to find your own path, whatever works for you, because we're all different. We're all different in so many ways.
No, it's very, very, very true. I totally respect that. In regards to also as just books, what is it like in terms of like your routine? Do you have a particular routine, like going to the gym and then filming? Because obviously your schedule is very, very busy, and it's become a lot more sort of linear and structured as, you do other people's lives, they go work, sleep, like that. But then with yourself, because you have to fit in your workouts, and then you've got your academy as well, in regards like that. Do you have a particular routine, you like sets of days?
My workout gets out of the way first thing in the morning. That's the first thing I do. I do read a little bit in the morning. I check my emails. I will meditate. I'll have a cold shower. And after I've had my cold shower, I'll start my day. I go do my workouts. After an hour and a half, I will come home. I'll resume with my work, whether it's reading my scripts or writing something, teaching maybe a class or online classes. On film set, it will be a bit different in the sense that I'll be in a hotel room. So I may go do a workout first thing in the morning and then get on film set.
Oh, wow. What is it like in terms of travel as well? Because I know you're going to be very, very busy this year. And as I know it's been brought to my attention that because you're not just being involved in sort of projects where you'll be at certain particular events where you'll be there helping out there, and also you've got other things as well in regard. You've even got sort of awards as well, because you've got so many awards now because of your vast sort of input in the martial arts community. You've even had to go abroad, where you've even gone on to sort of meet great people, in regards to health wise as well, haven't you? As well as martial arts.
I was recently in Thailand at the World Martial Arts Masters Awards, where I received an award. Unfortunately, I was very, very gutted because I received a katana as one of the awards, but I couldn't bring it back because it's illegal now to bring it over to UK. So I had to leave it behind.
Oh no! Wow.
Yes, Japanese katana samurai sword was given to me as an award with inscribed writing on it: Martial Arts Masters Hall of Fame Awards, Thailand 2023. I had to leave it behind. I did bring one of the medals behind, but bring it back. But the sword I had to leave behind.
Wow, my goodness. Oh yeah, just to let everybody know, because if you weren't aware of it, folks, Silvio on my previous episode, it was pretty funny. There was an encounter there. If it's all right, if I can sort of mention it, it was like
if I shared it with you before, you're welcome.
The Comic-Con one where there was a lady that came on, bless you, on there. Let's just hope she's not out there still trying to track you down, Silvio.
Oh, the stalker we spoke about. Oh my God, in Germany, yeah, that was a bit scary. I thought it was her, but fortunately it wasn't. She was stalking me, sending me messages saying how we're destined to be together, and I said, I'm already engaged, I have a partner I'm happy with, etc. No, she wouldn't have it. We'll end up together someday. And I thought, you're a grown woman, I'm telling you, there's nothing between us. I've never even met you, I've never spoken to you. So when I was in Germany Comic-Con, yes, I had a tap on the shoulder from security guard. There's a lady that wants to see you, and I got very scared and panicky, thinking this might be her. Lucky it wasn't.
Oh, bless you. Oh, yeah, John Blundell said good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John.
So, as yourself, when it comes to things like that, I know there must be sort of policies now where people, coming in, because like yourself, Scott Adkins, Matt Fedz, all the other fellow martial artists alike, when it comes to things like that, how do you, because obviously as yourself, we're all human beings, and even behind closed doors, there must be something in place now, like it's, bless her, even like your wife and yourself, you must be thinking, freaking heck, this lady there, and the security must have thought, well, both of you must have thought part of you had seen the funny side, but also there's a severity in it involved as well, because it can get pretty dangerous, when you get people that may even need help like that in that way, because obviously in reality, it's not quite the same as they would see what we see it.
You do, but people challenge you, or get challenges, offers, or people are being disrespectful and saying nasty things, because nowadays people can connect very easily online on social media. We've got so many different platforms. People can reach out and speak to you in some shape or form, or just leave a comment under your post.
Yes.
So in that sense, it's much easier. And don't take me wrong, I used to engage back. If the comments are negative, I block it out. I completely delete it, block it out. There's no point of engaging at all, because it's not going to lead to any good at all.
No. That's fun. That's great, and it's great advice as well, because I think it's also great as well when, as part of your profession of what you do, is there anything there where you must have great support network, in regards, because I mentioned this before in your previous episode with your wife, your family members, they totally understand what you do, as well as just a martial artist, because you've got you have sort of vast lot of fans, out there where they've been watching other films that you participated in or even contributed to now. And then, all of a sudden you get these things that are happening, is there things where people, not just agents, but other people have actually said to you, well, look, actually behind closed doors, I say to you, well, look, this is how you deal with it? Or is it because you yourself, was there any particular type of training or policies that were put in place just to safeguard your family and yourself and, other people, because obviously there's a back-to-back thing where you need to make sure that your family is all right, they're looked after, they're good. And then you yourself, you need to make sure, because it's so easily done, isn't it, Sylvia? Unfortunately, not all of us are as strong mentally in that way. And
Do you know, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It's one of the things you get used to, but I'm not sure if I shared this story with you before. 9 years ago, I was in Italian Dancing with Stars, or Strictly Come Dancing. And I was introduced as a phantom character. I was on there for duration of, the whole 3 months.
Goodness.
Well, there were 10 shows. Sorry, I got to show 9. But I was being masked as a character who is to reveal his identity on the final show. So I was wearing a wig, and the paparazzis were chasing after me for 2.5 months, and it was insane. Just waiting outside the flat, taking pictures. My partner was pregnant. So I remember in Rome, we had to run across streets, hide in shops, buy clothes in shops to run out, so we don't get I don't get identified. It was a funny kind of lifestyle, but not something I would want to live every day by. No, it's not the kind of life to live. But looking back, it was funny. It was very, very funny.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was 3 months in Italy doing Dancing with Stars, and my character, especially first 2 weeks of the launch of the show, was the most talked about character on internet and all channels all across Italy. Yeah.
My goodness! Wow!
I'll have to send you some footage of me dancing as.
I bet you're a bit of a mover, eh? You know, as well as because of the flow, the movements of your martial arts, that helps being flexible.
I have to say that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Really, the hardest in terms of discipline. The hours I was doing, I would rehearse for 5-6 hours a day. Show was on Saturday, filmed live. On Friday night, the producer would come along and she said, "No, I want to change everything. We've been rehearsing every day for 5 hours, Monday to Friday." She comes and changes our dance routine. It was very, very intense. But as we all know, we spoke about it before, it's those most intense and hardest things that teach us the most. And such a valuable lesson and such a memorable experience for me. But no doubt, it challenged me mentally and physically. At one point, I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. And I injured my back one of the weeks because they insisted, because of my build, that I lift up the girl every time above the head and spin her around and everything. So it was lots of lifting. So you can imagine in rehearsals, I would lift her up above my head maybe 100 times a day. So it was quite tiring, physically and mentally. It was tiring.
My goodness. You see, this is what people don't realize, Silvio. When you go through these things behind camera and even physically when you're doing stuff, you know, it can be very physically and maybe even sort of psychologically exhausting. You know, after a while, after a sort of certain period where it peaks, you think, whew, right, I think your body's telling you, why are you punishing me? I need to have a rest now. You know, I need to give that a break, start afresh again, you know, and in the next several hours. Ooh.
I remember I said to producer in Italy,
Yes.
Millie Carlucci, this is Rai Uno, that's like BBC One here. And I said to her at one point, I said, "I'm breaking down. I'm being pushed really, really fast." And she just said to me, "We're in the same boat as you." I mean, I had a great support. I even had a bodyguard. Believe it or not, I had a bodyguard for 3 months who was driving me around. It was very, very tough, but I'm glad I did it. It was probably one of the most valuable lessons I had. I mean, martial arts, no doubt. But in terms of challenge, it was one of the hardest things I did.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Lastly, if you were to turn the clock back and you jumped into a time machine, what intricate little bits would you like to change? Not in sort of a way where, I don't really want to change it because it wouldn't be where I am now. But if there was any intricate little bits of detail that you could enhance on, you know, and you think, oh, I want to better that a little bit. If I could do that, I could either go backwards in time or forwards in time, just to sort of iterate a little bit and sort of make things more, you know, efficient for you. You know,
I love your question. First of all, I love your question because it's very rare that people ask me this question. If I could go back, I would definitely like to have more confidence when I was younger. I wish I had the confidence then that I have now. I wouldn't have hesitated to pull some of the moves and do some of the things that I wanted to do but maybe didn't do because I didn't have the confidence. So that's probably the confidence and wisdom. But I think most of us, when we get to a certain age, we go, "Oh, I wish I had known this when I was younger." or I wish probably the confidence. Probably I wasn't as sure of myself as I'm now, so I probably would have done a little bit more if I'd been more confident, sure of myself that, yeah, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Just try a bit harder.
No, wow. I appreciate that myself. You know, I feel like that sometimes, you know, in certain areas of things. But I don't think it, a lot of the time people don't realize that it doesn't define you of who you are. You know, it's what you make of it, you know, of the now and what you want to do to push forward.
Right.
Ooh, that's it. Karen Campbell.
Always, of course.
Oh, yeah. The other thing is as well, I don't think anyone sort of realised this, but we were mentioning on Touching in your connection, because you wasn't aware of it until you was on the same, you did a little tour, didn't you? And you met Shannon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter.
Yes, I have. This was on a cultural forum in China. Chinese were celebrating how Chinese culture has been exported worldwide through predominantly their movies, the Kung Fu films. And I did a tour in China from Beijing to Hengdian for 4 or 5 days. She was there with her ex-husband. And I remember being on a coach. We were taken around to do a bit of a tour around China. And this lady came across from the other side of the coach. She was sitting in the same row to shake my hand. She said, Shannon. And I just froze. I was gobsmacked. She went, Shannon? And I literally had to phone my brother up straight away. And I said, guess who I just spoke to? Shannon Lee. Yeah, she's lovely. She's really, really lovely person. She's a lovely person. But I've got to be honest with you. I did ask her some questions about Bruce Lee. But in a way, I felt a bit sorry for her because she gets asked about Bruce Lee all the time.
I bet.
People don't know what her favorite color is or what her favorite. People know about Bruce Lee. And I'm sure she gets here all the time. So I asked a few questions, but not too many about Bruce Lee.
Yeah, of course. Oh, no, it's no doubt the first time when I had the interview with yourself, Silvio, even like other people now, when I like my eldest son, Riley, and it's no doubt probably in the foreseeable future, you know, when we see you in person, we'd probably feel the same way about yourself, you know, and other people, fellow martial artists like yourself, you know, because I think when it comes to something like that, I understand, you know, when it comes to other people that have that sort of linkage or even attachment, you know, family wise, and it would be nice. It would be no doubt probably be refreshing to have someone ask her more questions about what she does,
right,
other than her father. Because, like, you're right, you know, it's nice because there's a book like Be Like Water. My friend, she's got a book out now, Shannon Lee, which I'm about to read. You know, it's a black cover, absolutely wonderful. I got that as a present from Meg, and there's a lot of things I think to be said in terms of other than just Bruce Lee, her father, but also her brother as well, Brandon Lee. You know, both of them. I know it was short-lived. It's unfortunate because I know he has similar traits to his father, you know, in other parts of the way he is, you know, in his films as well, because you can see a little, you know, there's parts of him which have similarities as his father, you know, in sort of the action films. Right. But he's also got his own sort of flavor, you know, added to it, you know, as you can see, and what makes him unique. Like yourself, Silvio, you know, and there's a lot of times when people, excuse me, wow. Chris Batstone says, hi, guys, just came in, magic.
Hi,
I think it's someone from YouTube. Wow. Because I'm on 3 different platforms, as to let everyone knows. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube on the Phil Carew Show. And thank you very much for coming on.
Absolute pleasure.
Is there anything out there that you would like, just before we wrap this up, guys? Oh, hello, Karina. She wanted to squeeze in. Say hi, Karina.
Hello, Karina.
Just to sort of wrap things up a little bit, because I know I'm fully aware you're a very busy guy, and I'm valuing the time that you've got with me right now. If there was anything that you would want to do on your bucket list now, and you had no other commitments, what would that be now? You know, or one of your sort of things that you can do?
Definitely go traveling. Just go some places that I don't normally get to go to. I get to go lots of places, but generally only get to see the hotel room or film set. I would love to go a bit more traveling. Certainly to see some more places before before I die. But no, I'm sure I've got lots of time. I'm sure I have. So I would love to travel a lot more and probably learn to play guitar. That's another one which I'd love to do, which is on my bucket list.
Well, why not play the guitar while you're traveling?
I could do that. Absolutely. That'll be fun.
Make some extra busking stuff on there, you know, on the side.
Exactly.
Would you play the instrument and sing as well?
Oh, I can't sing to save my life. And it's not just understatement. I really cannot. It's just one of those things. My voice is horrible. There's no point even going there.
Oh, Matt made sure it squeezed in before. Looking sharp as always. It's good to see you, and you're looking sharp.
Good to see you too.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much, Silvio. It's been a real honour, and I'm very humbled to be in your presence. Just to let everyone know before Silvio goes, if you want to know more information about his film and everything, once this is sort of finished, I will throw out there more of a promotion and the films that he'll be involved in, and Warrior Island, and even about his martial arts school that he runs as well. I'm going to get some information. I'll attach it to this and all the videos, guys, because Silvio, as much as I would like to say it, you are very humble, and an honor. And it comes to be a really hard-working martial artist, real-life hard-working martial artist. Keep doing what you're doing as well, buddy. And I'm really proud to be in your presence, humbled.
Thank you. Pleasure.
On the show. And look forward to seeing more projects in the foreseeable future in regards to your writing as well, the books coming out.
Thank you.
Oh, one quick question here, because Karina would like to ask you, what was the name of the book?
Well, the name has changed 3 times already, so it's not in stone just yet. Before it gets published, obviously, I'll be putting some time and great deal of thought to it. But the name has changed 3-4 times already. So
no problem. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Poor guy Paul from the Philippine Martial Arts.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.